So I found this beautiful rainbow moonstone cabochon. It's got some faceted qualities to it. And I thought that would make a good stone for the belly of my seahorse. And I am also using a 925 sterling silver 20 gauge round half hard wire. This will be about 4 inches, and it will be the body of the seahorse. And then I will use a 26 gauge 925 sterling silver wire round half hard for wrapping it with. And I put some seed beads in green and light blue for the accent. This is going to be much smaller than this one. As you can see, the belly stone's a lot smaller. But this is the last one that I did. And a nice young lady asked me if she could purchase this one. So I'm making another one because I want to make one for my mom, and my mom likes them a little bit more petite than this one is. So I'm going to start with taking my pliers here and just starting to put a curl in the end of the wire. I'm trying to make sure that I get it as tight as I can, which is not always easy, depending on the wire. This is 925 sterling silver. It's not too bad. It's not too soft, not too hard. It's actually really nice to work with. So now that I have a little bit of a curl in the end, I'm going to start to go about shaping the tail. And I don't want this to be huge because I have a very small stone. So that's probably enough for the end of the tail. But I am going to want to find a spot right about here. I want it to be petite. And put a little bit of a bend in it. Yeah, let's see, that's long enough for the tail. I'm going to put a little bend. And then I'm going to go back this way a little bit. Let's see. Making room for the belly. So this is how it's going to go. And I'm just going to want to make sure that I kind of hold on to the stone and I'm bending it around the stone a little bit because I want the stone to fit in that nook. See? Okay. So now that I have the bend for the belly stone to go in, I'm going to find a spot right around here and I'm going to bend it again. And then I'm going to get this really nice and tight in here. It this way, and that is going to make the neck of the seahorse. And then I'm going to crimp it back this way so I can make the face, like the little bit of the chin area. And then I'm not, because this is so tiny and petite, I'm going to stay in that space, but I'm going to bend it back this way. And then I'm going to put this right here. And I'm going to bend it all the way around. And this is going to, and then I'm going to take it and squish it. And this is actually going to be the beak or the mouth, whatever you want to call it. But to me, it looks like a beak. See? So come down just a little bit lower than the jawline and come right back up here. And bend it. You're just shaping the head. Just like that. See? And I do want to bring this a little bit tighter here, I think, because this is such a small piece. It doesn't need to be thick right there. But this part does. So there we go. A little bit better. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to bend it this way. And then I'm going to put my pliers in like this, and I'm going to go like this around here. This is going to give you the spot at the top to hook your necklace to. And I just kind of, because you're bending the wire, it kind of misshaves. You can use this part right here and just kind of squish it. It straightens it out. Same with the beak. Squish it back, flatten it back out. You might have to, for this, I'm having to use the needle nose part. Alright. So now I want this to come back up like so. And I'm going to bend gently. Because you want to try and make it curvy, but you can put a crease instead of a bend and it doesn't look good. Alright, so now that I have the neck, I'm going to bring it down just a smidge because it's a little bit too much for this size pendant. And then I'm going to start using my finger and putting the bend in the spine. And here, this is what I mean. I want it nice and rounded. I don't want it crimped. So you can come back and reshape just gently. The gentler you do things with wire, the better, usually. There we go. So that's pretty much shaping the wire, the outline. And as you can see, it's pretty small, but it needs to be. So it's the right size for our little belly stone. Okay. So I cut this about 6 inches. With this being such a small pendant, that's about right. So kind of find halfway mark and make sure that you get it to come here about like that. Don't pull it tight yet, because that is going to go in the belly part. We just need to secure it to the belly, because this is going to be how we secure the belly stone into place. And I'm here to tell you, it's really hard to do. You're going to drop the stone several times usually. So I've got the stone and I'm kind of just holding it in place to the best of my ability, because I don't want to pull the wire too tight. I want the stone to fit into the spot. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to get it to work right the first time around. It doesn't always. See, I just dropped it, and that's just the first time. And that's okay too if you drop it. Sometimes I find it is a little bit easier to put the wire around the first time or two. Just use the stone in the place to show where it goes and how far apart. It's just for measurement. There. So that's the first time around. Now I'm putting the second time around. I try to get 3 or 4, depending on the size of the stone, 3 or 4 threads on the stone. I call them threads, but they're wire, to hold it in place. It's not always easy to do. And this wire is 26 gauge, but it's a little bit more difficult in such a small context to work with. So there's the middle, bottom, and let's try and get the top in. I want the stone to be slightly angled. I don't usually do that, but this stone works because of the facet and the way the glow is. It works nicely that way. All right. Surprisingly, I didn't drop that 850 times. So the wire starts to get a little bit short when you're working with this small, this 6-inch piece of wire. But like I said, I prefer it that way. I find it much, much easier. And then you can just kind of bring those together here. Tighten them up right at the back or the spine of it. And my stone is pretty much the way I want it. It did kind of move around a little bit. I prefer it to be in the rounded part a little bit more, but I'm not sure I can fix that now. I might be able to move it without pulling it out of there. Oh yeah, there we go. And just kind of push these ones together to get in tight as you can. So I'm going to put this around one more time, I think. Get it good on there. And then I'm going to get myself some longer pieces of wire. You can recycle these small pieces, so don't feel too bad if you have to cut some off. Especially sterling silver, it tends to be quite a bit more expensive. Let's see. So I'm going to bring that down a little bit more and then cut it as close to the 20 gauge wire as I can. I think my clips are just about had it. Oh, I'm using the wrong clips. Oh, maybe not. And then you can crunch it in there some, squeeze it in so that you don't have any stickies poking out. Give that tail a little bit more of a bend. I want it to meet up right about there now that I'm seeing. And I always leave a little bit hang out so that you can use it to wrap wire around. You can reshape a little bit if you need to. Give yourself the leeway. You can cut it off at the end. This time I cut myself a piece of the 26 gauge wire that's roughly about a foot long, maybe a little bit longer. And I bent over the edge because I need to start a wire so that I can wrap the bottom of the tail area. So first I'm going to start it right here, and that little piece of wire, I just brought it around so I can hold it with my finger. That's all that's for. That will get cut off when I'm done, so I can get that wire started. All right, now I decided I'm going to go with the little blue beads, the seed beads. So I'm going to, looks like I'm going to need 2, maybe 3 right there. So I'm just going to load them onto my wire. I'll start with 2 and see if I need a 3rd. So for the inside, I went with the little blue. See how I'm doing this? And just squish the wire down as far as you can. Put the bead in here. Now you're going to take and wrap the wire around there. Pull it tight. Now, I could put one more bead in there, but I'm not going to. At this point, I'm going to start wrapping the tail with just the sterling silver wire because I want to bring it together. Hopefully I'm able to show you how I'm doing this pretty good. It's really hard to film and watch what I'm doing. So I'm just weaving it, doing a weave. Stop that from shaking. Keep pushing it down. I want it tight. And so now I've got a little bit of a weave there, and I'm going to just start wrapping it around both pieces at this point. So I don't want the tail to be too fat. I want it to be as proportionate as possible. So you do a little bit of a weave, do a few beads, and then you're going to wrap it. Make sure you wrap it nice and tight. Okay, so my wire is starting to separate right there. So I'm going to bring it as tight as I can, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to cut it right here. Now you can take and kind of squish those together and just keep wrapping. Now you're going to have to pull it through the center. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take this out just a little bit so that I can keep wrapping inside of there. I like the way that looks a little bit better. Just keep pushing it back. Keep wrapping it. Oops, sorry about the shaking. Keep wrapping it around and around. Keep it nice and tight. And then eventually you'll come where those two pieces meet, and you'll just wind up making it flush with the... If you can get it back in there, it starts getting difficult. Come back and fix it. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be awkward. That's why I didn't make videos for the longest time. I had people asking me forever, but I'm pretty awkward with the wire. Alright, so I'm going to cut it off right there. I'm going to... Dang it. Keep hitting this. So sorry. Bring it back around. Get it. Try and get it into the inside a little bit. And don't worry about the excess wire. You can use it the next time. On the other side, you still have some of the seahorse to wrap with the beads. Alright, so just try and get in there. This wire here is... I always try to get it tucked in because I don't like the pokies coming out and sticking to your clothes. I've had that happen. This is a hard part. There. So then, because this is nice and tight there and wrapped, you can trim off that excess piece. That was how you started it. It makes it, you don't need that, don't leave that on there. Okay, so I'm not feeling any stickies, which is good. That's what I want. Okay, you get a little bit of the color there. Now I'm going to do this part up here with this other piece of wire. And do the same thing. Leave yourself a little bit on the end. And put it in there. I always put it on the spine side because I try to keep that part of all the wire to the spine of it to the best of my ability. So I'm just going to take it again and push it around this way so I can hold it in place while I finish wrapping around. Okay, so again, it looks like I'm going to need about 2 of those blue beads. Oops. And just wrap it on the inside, like so. See? And then push this wire through. This is where your needle nose pliers are going to come in handy. Come back around and grab another, I think 2. It's going to do it. Maybe 2 is too many. Yep. Let's go with 1. Oops, keep that bead in that spot. And come back through. And the wire likes to crimp as you do this. So you're going to want to make sure that you keep a good eye on that. Keep it from happening as you're pulling it through. Otherwise, it's really a pain in the neck. Let's go with another one right here. Okay. I want it right there. So I'm going to go around this way. And I'm going to push it through. See, this likes to bend, so just like I said, keep track of it so it doesn't crimp on you. Get bended and twisted in the way you don't want it to go. You'll know when it's hard to explain it even to show it, but alright. So now I'm going to wrap around here a couple of times. And I'm going to come back through here. Like so. You want to pull it tight. Okay. I'm going to get one bead. I think I'm going to get 1 bead. Guess I'm just struggling here. There we go. Put that in there. Sure. Where is that going? Lost track of what direction I was going in. Okay. I want more space, so I'm going to try and spread this out a little bit here. There we go. And then just come back through. Sometimes I like to put my finger in the spots just to keep it from crimping on me, so I can keep it going in the right direction that I want it to go in. Oops, that slipped around. Tricky, tricky. There we go. Now I'm just going to go with the wires. Just going to weave it a couple of spots. Twist it so it stays straight. There's what I mean. It's twisted and it doesn't want to go through. Makes a mess. What you're trying to do. There we go. Alright. And do that once more, I think. It's getting hard to hold on to, guys. Sorry. Not trying to bump my camera here, but I just keep doing it, don't I? Alright, now we're going to squish these two together. A little bit tighter if you can. Yep. And I'm just going to try and wrap it a couple times around here. One more thing that I like to do to secure the stone in the belly is to put another wire across here. And plus it also looks like the ribs or the lines and the seahorses. You see that there's always these lines along here. So that's my rendition of it. Plus it helps cage it in. So I'm going to start by taking another piece of wire and bending it roughly in half and pushing it through to the spine side. And I just want to twist this around so that the side that I go to starts right here. Now the first wire goes here, so I'm going to weave it. And this is tricky too, because the wires don't like to go where you want them to go all the time. So I try to bend it up a little bit. Maybe I can encourage it to go through the correct wire. And this being so small, my eyes tend to cross, which makes it very difficult to do. I might have to pull that out a little ways. Sometimes you do that, you pull the wire out some so you can get under it. Alright, I think I got, oh, it's hard to get under just that one. This is so small. Let's try going this way. There we go. Alright, so make sure you hold on to it. Well, it's taken quite a bit of encouragement. Now bring it back up. Go through the next wire if you can. There we go. Get that out of the way because that's for the other side. Okay, just squeeze the wire together right there. There you go. Now for the next one. Squeeze the wire together. Good. And then to this part of the spine. And secure the wire back to the spine. Make sure you get it in the spot. Don't overlap another wire if you can help it. And this, I just kind of bring these wires up here a little bit if I can. This one's playing havoc on me here. Bring it forward as much as you can. Kind of go like so. Alright, now leave that wire there. You're going to use that later. Now come back around and do the same thing for the other side. This wire is going to need a little coaxing, I think, because it's pretty tight. So let's pull it out a little bit if you can, so we can get this wire under it without going under anything else, which is not easy. Proving to be difficult on this side too. So just grabbing a little needle nose. Oh, maybe it's coming along. There we go. There's something. Get something to grab hold of. There we go. Pull it tight. Squeeze it together. Pull these out. I think you're going to need to pull these wires out a little bit to get under there. There we go. Just need to get under the one wire. Pull it tight. Give it a squeeze. Same with this last one here. And pull it out a little. Get under it. Pull it tight. Make sure they're squeezed together. Then come back around here. Go to the other side, because you're going to go the opposite direction with the wire as this other one. Pull it tight. Now, get a green seed bead. And I'm trying to decide if I want to do 3 colors. Yeah, let me try 3 beads with one. Let's try this. Let's see what we see. A blue. I'm going to just try and fade it on there. It might be easier for me. A green. And a blue. And if that works, you're going to take that wire just like so. Bring it through. Keep them beads. Keep them there. I want that to be tight. There we go. Yeah, that's what I want. And then I'm going to feed it through again, just so I can go up a little bit to the next. Give it a little space in between each wing. Alright. Yeah, I think that'll do. That way I get a little bit of blue on the ends and the tipped with the green. All right. So push this on through here. And this one we're going to put 2 blues, a green, and then 2 more blues. This is going to be the fin in the center. Let's see. You're going to just do it the same way. Keep it tight. You want all those, you don't want those beads loosely around there. Grab a hold of it. Get the beads all back around. There. Beads are tight. Separate them from that center. I want the center on its own. Okay. So come back around. Push that through. Pull it nice and tight. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to finish the 1 blue, 1 green, 1 blue all the way around. And then we'll come back and show you the finished result.